CFR Network, CFR Sports. Good day, good night, all. Welcome back. Special guest, local guest as well, Tim Wilde. How are we doing, sir? Welcome to the broadcast.
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Excellent, and congratulations on the excellent performance after a very long layoff, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt great to be back in there. Representing the hometown, representing the Midlands. It'd been 2 years, so for me, that's the longest period of time that I've been inactive since starting my professional career. In 2013, 14. So 7, 8 years. It was tough. I think these last couple of years, regardless of me injuries and stuff I've had going on in my personal life, have been tough for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice. It was nice to see light at the end of the tunnel once I'd finally got that fight, and then to have the experience and have the fight, and also in front of a crowd, things felt normal again for 15 minutes.
100%, 100%. I mean, sticking on that point, I mean, the 2-year layoff was, if possible, could you have come back earlier and fought, or was the injury, etc., that bad that you had to take that length of time out?
So what I did was I tore, in your knee, there's 4 major ligaments, and I tore completely 2 of them. So it was a severe injury. Yeah. I had to have surgery, and to be honest, a lot of people don't come back to this kind of, because we are elite athletes. What we have to put our body through, the 15 minutes is fine, but the hours and hours and hours upon of training that we do to prepare for fights, is a lot. We put our body through a lot. So to get back to fighting at this level was an achievement in itself for me. But yeah, so I remember when I did it, it was August, and I was sparring at Renegade, and I seen the specialist, and I had the consultation, told me what I'd done, and the first question I asked was, how long will it take me until I can fight again? And I said, realistically, I says, if I do absolutely everything I can in my power, how long will it take me? And he said it would take a year. He says, I would not. And this guy, Dr. Tim Spalding, he's like the top 2 or 3 in the country for knee specialists. He's done Tom Breeze's knees. He's done a lot of MMA fighters. He's really good. He's legit. And I've done my research with it. And I says, okay, a year. I says, I'll fight again in a year. And at this point, we was only having the consultation. I hadn't even had the surgery. But I had the surgery on I think it was the 23rd of September. So I fought on the 1st of October. So it was a year and a week exactly after surgery. So that in itself, I think speaks volumes. And I like to try and get my story out there. People probably get sick of hearing it, but I'm really proud of myself, man. I've worked hard for the last year. And yeah, what I've achieved is good, and as I say, proud of myself. But yeah, to do it in quicker than a year, personally, I don't know if that's possible. It may or may have not been done. I think Conor McGregor probably did it quicker than a year, but he only tore 1 ligament, his ACL. So there probably is stories out there, but in my case, yeah.
So what's the other one? ACL and MCL, is it?
MCL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Lee. He had double knee surgery, right? And he came back in, God, I can't remember what the time frame was. He pitched 9 months, but I don't think he came back that quick.
Yeah, I'd have to research that. But the only person that I don't really follow football much, but my dad does, and he said there's a footballer who plays for Wolves called, I think it's Johnny Otto or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he did the exact same thing, tore his ACL and MCL, and he was out for 9 months before he started playing game again. And they're normally, with footballers, they taper you back in slowly, so you play like 20 minutes, and then you play a couple of half games. Well, I think about 5 games in, he played his first full game, and he'd done it again, tore it both again. And he went in 9 months after doing it. Now, there's more pressure with a footballer because obviously they're getting paid 100 grand a week or whatever. Wolves are, but in the same aspect, you've got like Wolves would have the best physios and best doctors.
Hmm.
He'd have the, you know what I mean. He would have had the best treatment every day. But I think that what Tim Spalding said to me, the surgeon, was it takes a year for your body to even accept that there's new ligaments in your leg, you know,
So
and it take
Tim,
two. Sorry, go on.
no, don't worry, don't worry. Just to slightly interrupt you on that. So are they still using cadaver parts to rebuild?
Yeah, so they did with mine. So they used a cadaver ligament for my MCL,
Hmm.
and they used my own patella, a graft off of my own patella tendon for my ACL. But they tend to prefer the cadaver, and again, like it's a foreign body in
Yeah.
your body, so your body has to accept that, and to do that in quicker than a year, I think you're going to struggle. So
Hmm.
most people who I know have done it, like Tom Breeze, he said it took him 2 years not to fight again. I think he fought in about 14, 15 months or whatever, but said it felt like 2 years before he'd finally got it round in his head that it was a normal leg again.
Yeah.
So it takes some work.
I guess it's the psychological elements of it. You can see the scars, you know what you've been through, you've trained, obviously, it's up to a certain point, but in the back of your mind, that actually a part of that in my leg isn't my own kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't feel the same either. And I think it's accepting that it's not what it was before, it's new. And
Mhm.
it's like your body and mind accepting that. It takes some doing. I'm still very cautious of things like don't get me wrong, like, I'd fully battle tested it before I would take a fight. I'm not
Yeah.
stupid, but like there's just instances where I got to sit a certain way or lie or bend a certain way, and I'm like, "Oh," it's still there in the back of my mind, but it doesn't hinder my performance, as you seen the other week. So.
Yes, 100%. I mean, do you think has it ha- have you had to rely or develop new techniques based upon the injury, or do you think, or has it even sort of elevated elements of your game based upon the surgery and the rehabilitation that you've kind of gone through?
Yeah, that's a good question. To be honest, I actually think it's bettered me as an athlete because what I was on with the move to Renegade. I moved to Renegade about 2 years ago now, just under. And the first, I don't know, like year until I did the injury, it was very sporadic. The training was anyway because of COVID and lockdowns and
Mm,
gyms closing and stuff like that. So, but I felt like I probably in that first year put together 5 solid months of training on and off, on and off. And the improvements that I'd seen in myself were phenomenal, and I was just like really on a high. And I was due to fight a month after I did the injury, but obviously I had to pull out. And I come away and I just kind of talk to my peers around me and my training partners, and you got guys like Leon and
yeah.
Leon Edwards and Todd Breeze. They're just like elite of the elite, and I just thought I surrounded myself with these guys. I want to see, like I said to them, look, I've done this to my leg. I can't train martial arts for at least 6 months now. What would make me a better fighter? And I take criticism really well because, especially coming from guys like that who've been in there and
Yeah.
know the game, they said, Tim, you could work on being a better athlete because it's no secret. Sometimes I like to put on a little bit too much weight in between fights, or I like my food, or I did. So that was like I took some of the things that I could control. Like, all right, I can't train martial arts, but I can watch what I eat and I can try and put on a bit of muscle. And I also like incorporated gymnastics, so I made myself more flexible, more mobile,
Mhm.
more agile. So I did a lot of that really for the first 6 months of rehabilitation. And then when I went back to martial arts, it was like once I got my head around my leg and got used to that again, I was performing better anyway. So I truly do think this was probably my better, if not best performance of my career. And that's like to do 2 or 3 different factors really, like to just the hard work and determination throughout the 2 years and the rehab, but
Mhm.
also just being in a gym full of absolute killers who
Yes.
who all want to be champions, who want to strive you to be your best, and just really committing to it myself 100% and just
Mm.
becoming a better athlete. So yeah, I owe it to that.
100%. And trust me, throughout this conversation, even this early part of the conversation, people are sort of maybe will be inspired to think, actually, you know what, that maybe this injury isn't that bad. Maybe now I've got this injury and I'm in this position. Um, maybe I do need to maybe look at different elements. What can I control? Because obviously we can only control the things that we have the power to control. Things that are
Mm.
outside of that. So let's try a new thing. You know, let's put some more structure and discipline into my eating regime. So when it gets
Yeah.
to weight cutting and all that, and you know, it becomes a lot more of an easier task versus, I mean, what kind of weights are you having to cut to make weights?
So, guys, I've been known to go up to 90, 92 kilos outside of fight camp. That's I fight at 70 kilos, so it's a lot of weight, yeah.
It
And I'm
is.
not like fat. I'm not like got big belly and unfit. I can still be 86 kilos and very, very fit and strong and still fairly lean, really, like maybe 14, 15% body fat. But
Hmm.
like it's too heavy, you know. I am a bigger lightweight in that sense. I'm quite long and rangy for a lightweight, and I feel strong. I think my performance in the fight showed that I'm quite strong because Landu is a very strong, athletic guy, and
Definite.
he couldn't do anything with me really. I controlled the wrestling, but yeah, yeah. So like 90, 92 kilos, but now I mean currently I'm 81 kilos this morning. I won't go above 82 kilos now.
Wow.
Ever really, because to be honest with you, mate, like kind of the week before I fight, I'm still around 78 kilos anyway. Because I cut a lot of water weight, and
Okay.
I'm quite. I've fought a lot of times, and I know how much weight I can and can't cut safely. And so what I tend to do is I'll diet down to about I don't know 77 kilos, and then once I start water loading, I tend to go back into like a water load, cut carbs, make weight 70 kilos, and I'll go back into the fight at about 78, 79 kilos anyway. So
Mm,
my if you like, my optimum weight where I train the best, I still feel as strong as I do when I'm heavier and I'm fast as I am when I'm lighter is about 80 to 82 kilos. So yeah,
and you've got to that point based on all upon experience, obviously, isn't it? This is all experience. You know how your body feels after the fight, pre-fight.
yeah, yeah, man. I've had a lot of fights. Of 14-4 as a pro.
Yep.
So it's not 18 fights, but I had about 9 amateur fights as well. So yeah, it's just all through. Don't get me wrong, I've learned the hard way sometimes, where I couldn't even talk because I've cut that much water away. I physically couldn't make noise with my voice. I could not talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would never recommend it. I think 10%, like so, if you're fighting at 70 no more than 10%, so 77 kilos,
Hmm.
water weight in a week. Nothing any more than that. Like that's kind of what like the UFC PI and guys like that, guys who really know weight cutting. That's what they recommend. Nothing more than 10%, and I fully agree. I've done more than that. I've done, Christ, nearly 15%, and that extra bit, mate, makes
Makes
yeah,
a
it's grand.
huge difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But
So,
not like on your performance as well, you know. Luckily, when I did make that big weight cut and I couldn't talk, luckily I stopped the guy in the first round because I don't know if I could have come out for the second. It
you
was
gave you
bad,
your
yeah.
all,
So
all or nothing
yeah,
for the first 5 minutes to see what happens.
that's it.
Man. So would you ever consider fighting more at your natural weight?
Yeah, I mean, if I would actually like for not just Bellator, but like MMA full stop to banish weight water cutting, because when I'm 77 kilos, my body fat percentage is around 8%. I'm lean, I'm strong, I feel healthy.
Mm.
I can eat a lot of food and be carved up and be 77 kilos. Um, and I could fight it that way, and I wouldn't have to kill
Deplete,
myself in the bath,
diminish. Yeah.
dehydrate myself, starve for weeks, but yeah, until they do that, it wouldn't be safe for me to do so because well,
Yeah.
I'd be. Let's say I was fighting Leon Edwards, who walks around at 90 kilos, solid muscle.
Yeah.
Like he's a much bigger, stronger guy. So it's like until they diminish the weight, as in the dehydration process.
Yeah.
I have to do it to get down to
Mm,
70. I couldn't diet much more down than 75, I don't think, anyway, because I did it. I tried to do it once. I fought at featherweight, and that was the time that, yeah, like I say, I couldn't even talk. But um, I know, like, ONE FC, I'm pretty
yeah.
sure they don't do they don't allow you to dehydrate. They do
Hydration
dehydration,
test.
yeah, hydration tests and stuff. So
Yes.
I think the sport needs to move that way for sure.
I think it's a lot safer, and I understand the principles behind it. I get it. But I just think it would be a lot safer. I mean, you guys are, and gals are going out there and putting it all on the line, spiritually, mentally, physically. For our entertainment, let's not get that twisted. For honor, for glory, for respect, for legacy. You know what I mean? For recompense financially, obviously, but there's a small window for prize fighting.
Mhm.
We've seen people, legends of sorts who sort of were pioneers in this sport, and they're not looking too good at all now. They're really not, it's vital, as you say, that moving forward we do a lot more. If there's not, and I don't think this will ever take place, like insurance after you fight, healthcare kind of thing. Obviously in the UK we got the NHS, but like outside of that, there's no real support, trauma that you guys are going through, man.
Yeah, I agree, and it's a tough sport to make it. It's a lot of people don't make it, and I'll tell you, there's so many high level good fighters out there that don't get the credit or the money that they deserve, because they perhaps don't run the mouth so
Yeah.
much or don't have a big following. And I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent with it, but that's the way the sport's going. It's going WWE style, and it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't call people out, you don't have 250,000 followers. You're not that important, really. And I know fighters. There's amateur fighters in my gym, or as you know, that are good
Mm,
enough to beat high level pros, that are
100%.
fighting on Bellator with joke records, but because they've got 1 million followers or something, like, so it's a shame. It is a shame, but yeah, I think I like what the IMMAF are doing. Getting guys closer to the weights, fighting with shin pads, head guards, and stuff like that. Young kids, amateurs.
Hmm.
They're trying to do stuff with the sport. They've
Yeah.
brought in safe MMA now, where because when I first started, there was none of that. Like, the no brain scans, no blood tests. You
Yeah.
could be fighting someone who got AIDS. Like, do you know what I mean? There was none of
Mm,
that. So they are trying to make moves. I think it's just going to be slow. And until, like, someone like the UFC says, right, that's it, no more weight, no more water cutting,
mhm.
then it'll just, it takes something like that to spark it off. But it's quite an old school way of thinking. Yeah, it might favour the wrestler or the grappler if
Yeah.
you're a little bit heavier because you can cut a load of weight.
Hmm.
But nowadays, like, look at guys like Frankie Edgar, who fought at the right weight category, didn't cut water weight, walked around at his weight, and had so much success.
Yes.
I think people tend to stay closer to the weights now. So
Well, that is it. As
yeah,
you say, that is more of a trend. People, how many people have moved up from like 185 to 205? There's been a plethora of people. 155 to 170. People are making that jump.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't think, again, my opinion, I think adding more weight classes doesn't solve the problem, because people just try and cut a little bit more,
Mm,
or, like, I don't think that solves the problem. I think the weight classes are fine. I do think that they should do it like 175, 165,
yes.
sorry, 155, 65, 75, 85, 95. They should do it more like that,
Uniformed.
rather
Yeah.
than the big, yeah, they have the big jump. So you go 55 to 70, which is £15,
Yeah.
and then again to middleweight, £15, and then
Mm.
it's like £20, isn't it? So I think there is room to tighten up the weight classes, but yeah, I think adding more wouldn't solve it. I think just like,
Like,
banishing the water, the
mm,
dehydration process, because 24 hours before you're about to be punched in the head, you're lying in a bath sweating out 5 kilos or something. It's it's not good for your body or your brain, is it? It seems crazy to do it, doesn't it?
it,
Really.
it, it seems counterintuitive, and to get licensed for medical officials and all that to say, oh yeah, that's fine, you're real healthy, I've checked your heart rate, your pulse, your temperature, that's all good, and I know in an hour's time you're going to go back upstairs and totally wreck your system to release all of this water so you can make weight. But yeah, that's no problem at all.
Yeah, it's a bit old school, isn't it? Medieval.
Yeah, but it is what it is, as I say, and trustfully, people are making steps and moves, and there's that. I don't even. Wasn't that new organization that's supposed to be coming out in 2022, and it's supposed to be paying fighters more favorably and all this? I heard some murmurs on about 2 weeks ago. Have you not heard anything about that?
I think I did see something flash up on some Instagram stories, but I
Yeah.
haven't really took too much notice because obviously I was in the zone for my fight. I've had my
Yes.
fight, and I've come away from there. Obviously, the first thing I've done is spend loads of time with my son, and my partner, and then like Joy, I'm cornering Joy in Vegas now, like in a couple of weeks. So I'm
Mm,
back in for him. So I haven't really seen it, but
yeah.
I did see something. Yeah, I'm all for fighters getting paid more what they deserve. Like 100%. But I've got to be honest, Bellator pay well, and I think I seen some rankings or something like I don't know what the percentage was. It was something like if UFC give 13% of pay to fighters, it was something like 40% for Bellator. So it was
Wow.
the more favourable one that they do look after their fighters. They do pay well, but there's room. Like as you
There's
said,
always
it's us
room.
out there putting our lives on the line and stuff. So.
Yeah, and as you highlighted, I mean, WWE, WWF, depending on what age group you're in, the era you came in, that's exactly where it's going. It's going now. It's the sports entertainment thing, and I think there's room for it. But I think like how they have clever Uncle Dana, as he's referred to, you've got the UFC as the brands, and then you've got the UFC Vegas cards, and you've got the pay-per-view events, and then you've got the Ultimate Fighter, which made them, so much success with multiple series. Now you've got Dana White Contender Series. I don't see why that, for these kind of sports entertainment type stuff that he's all lumping into the UFC, why not do another offshoot where you can do this smack talking crazy stuff and have them over there doing that? And, with the purists, you've got ranks, and, if you fight and you're on a 10-fight winning streak, a 9-fight winning streak, surely if you're ranked number 2 or 3, you should be fighting for the fight for the damn belts.
Mm. I I agree. I agree. I think it is the entertainment business, so I get their side. They need to make money and sell tickets, but it's like right, Leon's the perfect case, isn't
Mm.
he? How many people has he got beat until he gets his title shot?
This is
This
it.
is
Just one more, Leon. Just
yeah.
Rocky, just one
I
more.
can't wait for him to smash up Masvidal though.
Well, look, let's paint the picture for the casuals and for the ones who like. Well, I've seen the fight. I know it's been announced now, but well, what led up to this?
Man, I tell you what, Leon. I think if he'd have seen him in person, he'd have probably killed him.
Yeah.
And I know how much Leon wants this fight.
Mm,
I don't think Leon would have fought a single other person other than Usman for the belt and Masvidal.
yeah.
You know, let's be honest. Let's be real. Masvidal punked him, man. He fucking punked him,
The
and
sucker punched him.
yeah, yeah,
And let's be clear. Let's keep it clear. He was over here in London. He's in
yeah.
England. Masvidal wasn't in America. Rocky didn't say, you
Yeah.
know what, we could do something another way, or we could do it like the police way, because he assaulted him.
He did basically, and not you know the not even just Leon. Nobody would let anybody get away with that. But
Mm,
it was like, I think, I mean, gosh, it's been what 4 or 5 years ago now. But from what I can
exactly.
remember, Leon basically was just like, "Oh, you're next,
Yeah.
oh hey," something like that. Like not in an aggressive, like fight me kind of manner
Mm,
way. In the sense that what you would say to anyone, like if I walked past Brent Primers, if I would say to him, Brent, I want that fight with you again. It's happening. In
Exactly.
fact, actually, I seen Alfie Davis in the hotel at the Hilton, who we was meant to fight. And he walked past me, shook my hand, and he went, "Oh, good fight, Tim. You look really good tonight." Blah, blah. And then he walked off, and then he turned around and he went, "Don't forget, we've got to do it sometime." And I
Yeah,
was like,
man.
"Yeah, yeah," and that's it. I didn't
Ex-
walk over and try and punch him in the
and
face.
this
Like
is
I
it.
know he's a street fighter or whatever. We've all had fights in the street, and
Mm,
yeah, but I just think he was out of order. And I get it. He just knocked out Till. He was being interviewed. He was all hyped up, the adrenaline going. But yeah, he walked over. Leon's hands were down, and he punked him.
yeah.
Yeah, so Leon's fuming, man, and Leon. I think Leon's such a smart fighter that he won't let all emotion overcome him with this. He'll pick him
Definitely.
up
It's
and
going
he'll
to be
stop him.
clinical. It's going to
I
be a
can't wait.
clinical dismantling. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Jorge as a character of sorts. You know, I don't think he's a 50-50 fighter. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of experience and he's done a lot. And I like the way he's doing his own promotion and all that. But we all know that he ran for 4 odd years. That was the fight to make right there and then. Dana White should have said, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, you know, Rocky's done the right thing. He didn't retaliate. He didn't go all crazy. He hasn't called the police as well. You know what? We're gonna make this fight, and this would have been in the books. This would have been done. Rocky would have had him under the belts and said, "Look, yeah, you know, I've got this win," and we would have been a step closer to this the Usman thing. Tyrone was
Well,
lucky that COVID took
that
place.
fell through. Yeah, he was very lucky. You know what though? Do you know what though? If he'd have took that fight then, would he have got paid as well?
No, definitely not. Pay
Yeah.
wise, 100%. This is the right time to do it.
So he's happy anyway, mate. He's back in training. He's back in sparring, beating everyone up today. So um, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. The team's strong, man. Like we've got such a good bunch of guys there. Everyone's motivated. Everyone's hungry.
Mhm.
Everyone's sick of having all that time off, and
Yeah.
everyone just wants back in. Like so, I can see Renegade making some big noise over these next couple of years.
150%, man. I mean, as you say, you've got some talent there on the doors, knocking on the doors of the UFC and potentially Bellator. I mean, we got Cage Warrior guys there as well, haven't we?
Yeah, it was Bellator, Cage Warriors, UFC. We've got a lot of amateurs up and coming. There's a lot of guys that haven't even had their amateur debuts yet, and yeah, it's busy. And to have such a big fight team in such a troubled 2 years, we've off the back of COVID, we've now had to move gym. We've been in temporary gyms. I honestly see in 6 months' time when that gym's fully established, fully going, full
Yeah.
timetable, and everyone comes back, it's just gonna blow up. It's gonna be crazy.
So pre-COVID and pre your move to Renegade, where was she training at? Was you at
Uh,
Fearless or?
No, I trained at a gym in Cannock. It was actually called UTC, UTC Staffs, and it
So it
was
was
like this.
the
Go on,
satellite
sorry.
one from Erdington.
Yeah, it was like Erdington's sister gym, if you like. They were in
Ah,
partnership, and then they went separate ways. But I actually started at UTC Staffs. I was their first official member when they opened, and it was God, like 10
oh,
years
it's
ago now.
yeah, man. You're going back, man. Yes, yes, yes.
So I started there, and yeah, I had my amateur career there and most of my pro career there. So it's a great little gym. I just got to a point where I felt I outgrew it and I needed
Mm,
some kind of higher level training partners and stuff.
yeah.
So, but mad respect to them. They got me to where I am now. And, anybody in that area, the Cannock area, who wants to start MMA, that is a place to go for sure.
Good starting points. Good starting point,
Yeah.
100%. And yeah, and for that area, I guess I mean there's not many. I don't. There's another one or two. Is it in Cannock?
Uh, there's, I don't, there used to be a pure MMA. But I think that's changed now to Canuck BJJ. I think it's just a jiu-jitsu gym.
Ah, okay.
So really for MMA in Canuck, I think there is only UTC staffs now.
Proper.
I know in Wolverhampton you got Wolves MMA.
Yeah.
There's a new one opening up soon in Willinghall, which is I don't know if you know Dan Cassell. He's opening up. He's the guy who owns Golden Ticket. He's opening up a little gym.
Yes, I did see the little promo that he put up for that. Yeah, how's that coming
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, good. I think he's. I don't think he's going to fight again now. So he's doing his shows, the
Hmm.
Golden Ticket, which is quite a respected regional show now. And yeah, he's going to open this gym and start a gym. So best of luck to him. But I think that's opening in about 3 or 4 weeks. That's in Willinor.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's good. But these are good for guys that are wanting to learn MMA or
Hmm.
perhaps do it as a hobby or start out, maybe have a few amateur fights. But if you're within an hour or even 90-minute drives of Renegade or Fearless, them are the places you need to go to
Premier
really
in Brum.
excel. Yeah, to
Yeah,
really kind of excel your career and your skill set.
I agree. I agree 100%. Excellent, excellent gyms. I know, as you say, they've got. I mean, between the both, yeah, you've got like Cage Warriors, Bellator. Has Felix got any UFC fighters as well?
Well, they've just signed Jake, haven't they? He won the Jake Hadley won on the Contender Series last night, so
Oh,
he's now got a
sugar.
contract.
I missed that. Okay, so he won the fight. Well, I knew he was gonna win
Yeah,
still.
yeah, man. Jake Hadley works really hard,
Yeah,
and he
man.
deserves it. He's one of the most deserving guys I know too. So I think he might be Fearless's first like official, original like kind of UFC fighter.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, we all go over there. We all go and do our wrestling with Camby and stuff. So
Hmm.
we're quite like linked. Like the two
Yeah.
gyms are like we're not rival gyms. We probably wouldn't fight each other on amateur shows and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So yeah, we go there and get a lot of working with them. They come to us and do a lot of like BJJ and stuff. So, but what
Proper
tends to happen is like Fearless tends to have the smaller guys, like the flyweights,
135ers.
bantamweights,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe some featherweights. Whereas like the lightweights plus
Hmm.
tend to go to Renegade. But yeah, man,
Makes
the mid I think I would say we've got the best team between Fearless and Renegade. We've got the best teams in the Midlands, if not in the country, man. And like I said, within another year, when now we got that place in Longbridge and that's established,
hmm
and everyone comes back in because everybody's kind of dispersed. They've all gone and done their own thing. But when Renegade's up again, running and solid, which it will be over these next couple of months,
Yeah, yeah.
by the end of next year, I can see that Longbridge place turning into just something crazy. There'll be dormitories there. People from all over the world and country will be coming there, sleeping, training, doing seminars. It's just going to blow up massive. Like
100%. Well, wasn't Johnny Walker over at Renegade a couple of weeks back?
that, a couple of the guys from Renegade went to Ireland training with
Oh, is that
Johnny Walker.
okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But we get guys come up and down. Like Ross comes down. Ross Houston comes down from Scotland. Darren Stewart comes up from London. Like
Okay.
people
Yeah, yeah.
come there. But it's been a bit, like I say, these last 2 months we've been a bit all over the place, like
Mm,
training temporary and stuff. Through no fault of our own, the gym shut down and we was kind of forced into getting that new setup.
yeah, yeah.
Like I say, when it's set up and running smoothly, they'll all come back because we've just got such a big area now. We've got the big cage, we've got the big matted space, we've got great coaches, and we've got lots of high level
Hmm.
training partners at all weights. So, and there's always a good vibe there. There's no what's the word? Uh, there's no egos, man. Like everyone's in there to help everyone, and everyone
Yeah.
wants to push everyone. Everyone will want to grow together. So,
It's like a
there's
family in essence kind of thing.
absolutely, there's no politics. That's what I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for.
yeah.
There's no politics. You don't have to wear this certain gi, or you can only spar with these, or you know, it's good in there, man.
You come in there, you take your licks, you give out the jewels, you receive the jewels, and you grow as people ultimately, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You walk in as friends, you walk out as friends, and it's good. Good vibes.
Yes, yes. So what's the plans? What's the future plans? What's the 3-year goal for Tim?
3 year goal. So, um, in my current goal, that I haven't set a time on it, but I can see it happening over the next 2 years, is to get into the top 10 and
Mhm.
break into the top 10 at Bellator. I wouldn't know. They only do the top 10, so I wouldn't know where I stand in the rankings. I'd like to think I'm in the top 20, and I like to think with 2 good wins against good should break me into the top 10. That's my sole focus at the minute. I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position now where I can train full time. I don't have to coach. I don't have to PT. I don't have, because I'm an electrician. I don't have to go and do any electrical work. I've got some financial sponsors. I've just got paid on my last fight. I should be fighting again soon. So I'm in a position where I can look just head down, 100% fully
Yeah.
commit to training day in, day out, day in. No financial stress, no
Mhm.
girlfriend stress, no child stress. Like everything's just good in my life. So that's all it is for me now. It's just turning up every day at the gym, growing, building my skill set, becoming even more of a better athlete. I've got my management. I'm actually, when we've finished here, I've got a video call with my management because it's American management. So it's like, I think it's like 1 o'clock over there in their time. So I'm gonna have a
Depending on
chat with
what
him.
state, yes, indeed, it's about that time.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's in LA, man, the lucky guy. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a chat to him, talk business and see. But the plan basically is to continue the journey with Bellator, re-sign with them. They want to re-sign me, which is great.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, keep fight again soon. I would like to be in by the end of the year, but it kind of just depends on how they've got a busy roster. They need to get fighters out. I've just fought, so I imagine I've gone to the bottom of the priority list now. So
Mhm.
it's how good, how much we can push to get a fight, and yeah, just keep working into the top 10. I want to fight Brent Primus again. I really feel like, now with the team I'm at here and just actually getting chance to get into the fight, I beat him. I feel like I beat him, and just get. I want to, mate. I look at Peter Keeley and Patricky Pitbull fighting for the belt, and I honestly believe I beat them both. And it really inspires me, man. I really truly believe that I can be a Bellator lightweight champion. That's my 3-year goal, and that's what I'm going to work towards every day.
Proper. Much success. I have high hopes that you will achieve those goals, most definitely. I mean, you've got the skills, you're working diligently like most athletes are. Um, I think you're close to what they call the prime age in your life. So yeah, I think that 2 year sort of period, I think you can easily crack that top 10. I mean, would you be happy to fight 3 times a year if
I would.
feasible?
Yeah, 100, mate. I haven't fought for 2 years, so give or take my body being okay with
Hmm.
injuries and that, I would fight 5 times. I'm not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I really am in my prime, and this is all I'm focused on. All I'm doing. Like I say, everything's good in my life. There's nothing pulling me away. There's nothing where I need to have my like. There's not like, oh, my son's doing his GCSEs. Like, he's nowhere near that. He's only 5,
Mm,
but he's like, oh, I need to be helping him with his. It's like everything's just comfortable in my life. All my relationships are healthy, financially, mentally, just everything's good. So all I want to do, mate, and I've got a very good support around me, is get my head down and just fight. So
yeah.
I'm a bit sore from the fight still. It probably hasn't helped that I've had to go kind of straight back into training to help Joy. But it's what you do for your teammates, man. But like, I think give me another week or two, I'll be in a position where I can start a fight camp. Probably when I get back from Vegas, so end of October. So if they can line some up for me, Christmas time, I'm good to go. Or New Year's, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Anyone, and then know me, then know I will fight anyone. My debut on Bellator main event, Birmingham.
Exactly.
Do you want to fight Brent Primus, the former champ? He's only lost to Mike Chandler. Yeah, I'll fight him. there was no question about it. So that's probably sometimes detrimental to me, but how it is. Us fighters, we just fight.
Yeah. And it's
So
experience, man. Ultimately, it's experience, and yes, it is important to win. It would be great to be like Habib of sorts and retire with an unblemished record. But sometimes that was his journey, and it's cool. You know, there's not many people who have an unblemished record, quote unquote. But the journey in life, and especially within a fighting life, It's about having those losses sometimes that propels you to get better, to work on the deficiencies, and to become the ultimate, pardon the pun, fighter. The ultimate person that you can be. So sometimes it does take one or two losses. It does take a disqualification and you totally messed up and read the whole situation totally wrong to realize actually I'm better than that. I don't know. I don't even know why that even happens. So it's the
It's life,
journey.
life lessons, isn't it? Like you
Yes.
lose in life as well. You lose people, you lose jobs, you lose friends, and it's all lessons, isn't it? It's all experience, and it's your book. It's the book of your life, isn't it? And it's like when you come to the final chapter, I want to be able to sit there when I'm an old man and tell my grandson and granddaughters and whatever like about
Mm.
my life and be happy and not regret anything. And I regret fighting privates? Not at all. You know, my face was all around Birmingham on banners, on
Yep.
big billboards. It's like, what a life experience, and it was great. And you know, if I'd have knocked him out, like, what would that have done? So you got sometimes you have to take risks, you have to jump off and go for it, and I did, and I don't regret it at all.
Oh, definitely, man. Definitely. It's brought you to the place where you are now,
Exactly.
and you're in a zen-like place. Mind right, money right, family life right, support circle right. It's just about putting in that additional work now and getting some names and a contract thrown at you and a date for you to really focus and say, yep, okay, that's the opponents, that's the goal, this is the mission, and let's see it out, kind of thing.
Get to work. That's it.
So trustfully, Scott, Mr. Coker, you're gonna listen to this here and say, yo, sugar, I've totally forgot about Tim. Yeah, let's bring him onto this card. Yeah, so let's get the old contracts going. Let's get Fabian, a fight. Fabian's not scheduled for a fight yet, is he?
He is. I can't say who because it
Oh,
hasn't been
okay. No,
announced
that's
yet.
all good.
But
Well,
he will be fighting very very soon actually. So he took a last minute fight, short notice fight. He's ready though. He keeps himself always ready. So,
yeah,
but yeah, he's took a short fight. He's not. So you'll probably see in this next coming week.
yeah, man.
Uh, he'll be out soon. Yeah.
Trustfully, the Easy Money Tour will be
Yeah.
returning. You heard me.
That's it, mate. We've got Aiden out soon as well. Yeah, we're all
Yes,
keeping busy, man. We're all hungry, ready to go.
killers, man. Midlands killers. That's what we need to unleash onto the world and show that this little region up here in the middle of the map of the UK. We got some talent out here, man. We got some real talent out here.
That's it, mate. They breed them tough around here.
You already know. So, two questions to round this out. I know you've got a call to take. First one is, have you had fun today?
I have, mate. Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed the interview. Yeah, it's quite relaxed. Sometimes they feel quite formal, and it's like, oh,
Mm,
what do like it's sometimes too formal, like a work interview. Now it's been chilled. It's good. I've enjoyed it, mate.
excellent, excellent. Could you tell us who you are, but don't tell us your name, kind sir?
Wow. You do this to everyone.
Yes. Take your
Hmm.
time, sir. Take your time.
Tell you who I am, but don't tell you my name. I am a father. Uh, I'm a caring,
Hmm.
funny, hardworking, disciplined guy who chases dreams, um, helps people, and like to think entertains people. Not only with what I do for a living, but I like to make people laugh, and um, yeah, that would round me up pretty well, I think.
And let's add one more to that. You're a dream catcher as well.
A dream catcher. Yeah, not just chaser, catcher. I like that.
Yes.
Uh,
I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, kind sir. Much success. I can see some real good things coming, trustfully. It always happens through hard work and dedication. I do see it coming. How can people get a hold of you? Please throw out all of your social medias, and I'll make sure to put the links in the description below.
just it's all just Tim Wilde MMA. So I'm probably most active on Instagram, but I am on Twitter and Facebook. And yeah, I'm terrible with technology. So I really funny story, just dead quick. I realised one of my best mates that I've known for years, I didn't even follow back on Instagram, and I followed his wife, and I was like, I always used to think, why don't I ever see any of his stuff? And anyway, his son goes to jiu-jitsu like mine does, and he was like, you don't even follow me back. That's why I was like, really? I'm a nightmare. Like, and people, I know people can get offended with that, and yeah, it's never done intentionally. I'm just very crap with technology. So, but yeah, get at me at Instagram, Tim Wild MMA. That's probably where I'm most active, and appreciate the support. And thank you for having me on, mate. I've enjoyed it.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. As I say, links will be below. If you have never heard of Tim, or you've never seen any of his fights, go on to the old Bell. Actually, it's BBC. Actually, here's a good question for you. Replaying of Bellator fights. Where do we get to see that? Because I can watch them on the iPlayer, like live, but the replays, I
Yeah,
struggle to find them.
so the replays of since iPlayer took the contract on, the replays of them fights are on there. You just when you go onto iPlayer, just search Bellator, and it brings up to a page. Click on that, and then you got all the fights listed out, and
Ah,
it goes so far back. You can get quite a lot of Bellator on YouTube and also on the Bellator app, but yeah, that's it really. So Bellator app, the iPlayer app, or YouTube. You can get quite a lot of it on YouTube. So but it does take
perfect.
some digging.
Yeah, you got to search. It's not as available, but it's all good. Sometimes you've got to seek, and you will find. We can't just have things just fall into our lap, kind of thing. So if you want the content outside of UFC, there's Bellator. You got one championship and Cage Warriors, obviously, and a whole plethora of other North American sort of LFAs and all Road FC and all that kind of stuff. I tend to stick to, obviously, PFL as well. I mean,
Mhm.
one last question. PFL, what are your thoughts on that as a promotion, and how difficult do you find to actually watch any of their fights?
Uh, I'll be totally honest with you. I haven't ever watched them, but I am due after this phone call to talk to my manager about it because I know he has a lot to do with them. Because obviously we're in negotiations with Bellator, but we're also in negotiations with a lot of people. So
Hmm,
PFL's name has been brought up. But as to watching it, I don't actually know. I think they're streamed live on. Is it on show? Is it Showtime or
Showtime.
CBS Network or something like that?
Showtime.
But it's a
Actually, no,
very
you're right. I don't think it is
might be
Showtime.
ESPN actually. Might
Yeah,
be ESPN.
mhm.
But
The big
yeah, so I
network.
don't. Yeah, I don't really know, mate. But they're doing big things. PFL are, from what I've been told.
When I'm able to catch the little bits and pieces that I'm able to catch, it's a quality event. I don't recognize a lot of the fighters, but the content, the performances are generally 60% of the time real good, man. Real good fighters, man.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out.
So check it out. Check Tim out. Go onto his Instagram. Follow him. If you're listening to on the podcast, please do leave a 5-star review, like, comment, subscribe, and most definitely share.